Welcome to the Wealth of Wellness. If you are a woman and you have terrible PMS every month, this video is for you. I have a special guest with me today. Ashanti Garcia is a PMS and period pain relief coach, and she is also certified from the Fast Like a Girl coaching program. She was born and raised in Belize, where she was a professional dancer and yoga instructor for over 13 years. She has been a vegan for 10 plus years and has been practicing intermittent fasting for over 7 years. When Ashanti started syncing her fasting and eating to her menstrual cycle, it resulted in the complete elimination of period cramps in 30 days for the first time in her life. So I'm really excited to hear her story today. Welcome, Ashanti.
Thank you, Amy. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you for joining me today. I know you have a very powerful story to share, and I know it's going to resonate with a lot of women. So let's get started. Can you discuss what your life was like before you knew anything about cycle syncing?
Definitely, for sure. I had both PMS symptoms as well as period cramps, where I had to take medication pretty often for, the period cramps. I didn't think there was anything I could have actually done about my PMS symptoms, which were primarily very sore or tender breasts, as well as having like always religiously getting a huge headache the day before my period. So I always knew like exactly when I would get my period because of those symptoms. So yeah, it was not like it was like a monthly dread, having, preparing for my cycle every month. So that's something that a lot of women experience. And so once I did start doing cycle syncing and realized that it doesn't have to be this way, that was like a breakthrough moment for me.
Yeah, so lots of cramps, headaches, right? I had all of the same. And I didn't realize, like you, that there was any other option, right? It was just a part of life. Even the doctors, I'm sure they told you, like they told me, oh, it's just you're a woman and you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, the lots of pain medications, heating pads were my best friend.
For me, it was
um,
ibuprofen.
yes. I always had medicine in my purse, right? Because the headache would kick in, the cramps
Mhm.
would kick in. Um, yeah, so that is, I'm sure, a story that a lot of women are feeling. Um, Now tell me how you learned about cycle syncing.
Mm. My introduction to cycle syncing came through, for me, maybe what's more of a unique source, because I didn't like learn about cycle syncing and thought, okay, this is a solution. I was looking for other things in my life at the time, which was to really boost my immune system and make it as robust as possible. And through, having this interest, I was introduced to Dr. Mindy Pels, who she's like a world-renowned fasting expert. And yeah, so she was teaching about fasting, which is something I've done for many, many years. And it was through, being introduced to her work, her book, Fast Like a Girl, where she has what's called a fasting cycle that is linked to a woman's menstrual cycle. And for me, that was new because even though I had fasted for 7 plus years, I always fasted the same way, which was like 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating. And I did that the same way every month. And until I came in contact with her work, I was like, oh, that's like fasting like a guy. Like men are designed to more do the same thing over and over because they don't have the same hormonal fluctuations as women do. And so I started, doing or following Dr. Mindy's fasting cycle, which also included like an eating cycle. So it was not just the fasting, but like eating for a specific window of time in a certain way to really maximize hormone production, to metabolize the hormones properly, and then to detox any excess hormones. That's when, for me, everything changed because within 30 days of following that fasting and eating cycle, But then I realized I never had any menstrual cramps, and I never had that happen in my life before. And I was like, this is the only change that I did. So this had to be the culprit. And then I kept following it and kept seeing the results of never having cramps. Like this is huge because it's not where the cramps are already there and now you're taking medication just to numb the pain. It's like I was no longer experiencing the cramps. They were not coming in at all. So that was definitely my introduction to cycle syncing.
Nice. And you mentioned a very important point where um, the 16-8 fasting cycle, which for somebody who doesn't know is you fast for 16 hours and you have an 8-hour eating window, is made for the male body.
Yes.
Um, and there are a lot of things I'm in the healthcare field, and there's a lot of research and studies for medications and diseases that are done on men,
Yep.
and
Hmm.
not too many that are done on women who have these fluctuating hormones and cycles um, every month.
Yep. Hmm.
So very important to raise awareness about that, because even like I said, as a healthcare professional, I didn't realize that there was any difference. Um, so now you went through the Fast Like a Girl coaching program,
Hmm.
and you've been cycle syncing several months now.
Oh yeah. Let me see. I started in January of this year and now we're in September. So yeah.
Yep. So tell us how your life is different now.
Yes. Oh, I love my life now. At least when it comes to like that part of, you know, dealing with my menstrual health and having this awareness around my menstrual health. So now I do not get PMS symptoms. I don't get like that headache that I used to get like religiously every month, and I don't get the sore, tender breasts. Um, and I don't get the menstrual cramps. So for me, there's like this night and day difference between like how my life was before I started and how my life is now. And it just gives me a huge incentive to continue practicing cycle syncing because I don't like taking medications. I don't like taking pharmaceuticals. So for me, going on this path where I'm just aligning my lifestyle to my cycle is just like wonderful. And it's so motivating for me.
Nice. And I've been practicing this for about 5 years now. And
Wow.
I can tell you, first my physical symptoms went away. And then, my migraines went away. And then I wasn't yelling at my kids or my husband as often. I was waking up refreshed. I was sleeping better. And then from there, it just kind of exponentially got better. And it changed my whole career path because of it. So uh,
Wow.
here we are today.
Yep, here we are today.
That's right. So now talk to me a little bit about what you do as a PMS and period pain relief coach.
Yes. So um, I just simply do my best to utilize the same strategies that worked for me to help other women to get the same results. So, of course, that has to do with fasting and following like the fasting cycle. That also has to do with adopting, for certain parts of the cycle, a ketogenic or ketobiotic way of eating. On other parts of the cycle, adopting more of a hormone feasting approach to properly support the right hormones in different phases of the cycle. There's also like an exercise component for women. And I am personally right now experimenting with like syncing my cycle with exercise because that's also something I've never done before. And I'm just kind of like, oh, if I'm encouraging clients to do this, it would be good if I had some sort of experiential reference to be able to coach on this. So I'm in that phase right now where I am really, since I'm in my luteal phase, I'm just like really taking it easy when it comes to exercise this week. And then, there's a detox part of the program as well, just to help women detox any excess estrogen, at certain parts of the cycle. So that might be anything from helping them to like love their liver by eating a lot of bitter greens during the certain parts of the cycle. exercise, because sweating is one way that we can detox through the skin, drinking enough water that will help the kidneys to detox, and just eating like a lot of fiber, because fiber can help to bind to any excess estrogen in the body and really help to prevent like these PMS symptoms, which are caused by estrogen dominance. So it's like a multifaceted approach to help women naturally overcome PMS symptoms as well as period pain, which, I've seen that these are things that work for me.
Yeah, and I teach the same things to my clients, so they work for me also and for my clients. So that is great. Now you have a program, a coaching program called the Cycle Sanctuary Program. Tell us about that.
Yes. Yeah. So this is a personalized program. So, right, I don't have any group programs as yet. I just work with clients one on one, because every woman's body is different, and every woman is also having maybe different challenges. For some women, it might be that there is a time constraint factor. For other women, maybe they are not working, maybe they have a lot more time, so like time for certain lifestyle strategies might be abundant for some women, and for other women it might not. So this I consider all these things when I have to create like a plan for women. So I create first, I do like an intake of everything that they're experiencing, so I can really understand how to best help them. So I have three forms actually, like a client intake form. I have a metabolic flexibility questionnaire, because since fasting is such an important tool, it helps me to understand how easy or how difficult it would be for them to metabolically flex in and out of fasting. And then the last form is the neurotoxic questionnaire, which was also new for me, like when I did my certification with Dr. Mindy, because I never thought that, the amount of toxicity in my body will also affect like
Mhm.
just my health, or like how easy it is to like flex out of fasting and from eating and so forth. So I do an intake of all of that to really understand where they're at, what their challenges are. And then from that, I use that information to create two things. So one is a personalized assessment, and this will give them both general and specific recommendations to help them overcome their PMS and period pain. And then the second thing I do is, which is really the bulk of my work, I create a personalized holistic health and wellness plan. So this is where I put in month to month, like what they need to do. And this is, following cycle syncing principles, like with eating, with fasting, with exercise, with detoxing, with regulating stress, which is like really huge, because I've also experienced where once my body was going through a lot of stress during a particular month, all of my symptoms came back, and like that was really shocking for me. So I really ensure that there's a section there for regulating stress. And then there's, of course, the live coaching, like how we are here on this video right now, where I coach them each week so that I can support them in each phase of the menstrual cycle, since we know that each cycle we have 4 phases. I'm like, oh, I want to support them live during each phase. And so, this will go on for about 90 days. My program is a 90-day program. And then in between those calls, they can message me, they can ask for any specific type of support, text, voice notes, and stuff like that. So that's how I offer support to them through my program.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, and it's so important. I also have a 3-month program because that way I can go through 3 full cycles with another woman,
Yes.
right? So 1
Yes.
cycle, they're kind of learning, 2, they're kind of figuring it out, and 3, they're kind of setting into a routine. So that's great. Um,
Yeah.
Now you offer a free connection call if somebody wants to get more information or get to know you a little bit better. So I will put the link for both, your program, your connection call in the description box. So if anybody wants to connect with Ashanti, go ahead and do that. Where else can people find you?
Oh, I think on most of the social media platforms you can find me. I'm on Instagram as Ashanti A. Garcia, as well as Facebook, Ashanti A. Garcia as well. And then my Instagram does link to Threads, so you can find me there, follow me there. I have a TikTok page under the same name. LinkedIn for, those who are more professional and have that set up. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. And then I do have YouTube. I don't have it as like a podcast or anything as yet, but yeah, you can find me on YouTube as well, Ashanti Garcia.
Nice. And just as a side note, Ashanti and I met on Threads randomly
Yes.
through a post. We connected.
Thank you
um,
for sharing that. Yeah.
yeah, so it does work, and you
Yep.
can connect with people. So I will link all of your social media handles again in the description box below. This was amazing. I know my audience will learn something, from this interview. And if you are struggling with PMS and you have a friend who's struggling, please share this video with them also so they can learn, because we just want people to have PMS free months.
Yeah, totally possible. That's definitely, I think we share the same goal there. And I was just so excited to find you because I'm like, oh my God, somebody else does this too. Like for me, like that was super exciting. So, the more that they are, the more that we can help more women in the world.
Yes, I love that. Thank you, Ashanti, for joining me and sharing your story today.
Thank you so much for having me. My pleasure.